Local government elections are over and all political parties are discussing about how can they sustain the power in each and every local government council. But while the political parties are discussing about holding power, we are concerned about holding our GSP plus, because already there's a delegation from the European Union to evaluate our GSP plus status. A lot of Sri Lankans generally get confused between GSP and GSP plus. Also, there's another GSP scheme in the US which is on hold or which is already suspended in 2020. So people get confused whether this is GSP and GSP plus, is it from the European Union or is it from the US? So we are going to clarify that in this video and to point out why it is really important for us to sustain and remain on the GSP plus scheme. GSP stands for Generalized Scheme of Preferences, and this Generalized Scheme of Preferences is for the European Union. European Union have this special preference scheme when they import goods for the European Union, and if they are importing it from a developing country, the importing country or the developing country can export it to the European Union under the GSP scheme with either with a partial tariff cut or a full tariff cut, and that's GSP. But there's an addition to GSP that is called GSP plus, and Sri Lanka is under GSP plus. First we got to GSP in 1971 and then we got eligible for GSP plus in 2005, and then they removed our GSP status in 2010 because of the concerns about the human rights violations, and again we regained our GSP plus status in 2017. So what's the difference between GSP and GSP plus? GSP basically allow the developing countries to export to the European Union with a partial tariff cut or a full tariff cut. But if it's under GSP plus, that country already who was eligible for the GSP can upgrade themselves to GSP plus if they agree to sign 27 conventions, international conventions covering human rights, labor rights, sustainability, and mainly good governance. With that, GSP plus offers them about 2/3 of the HS codes they can export to that European Union with full tariff cut when they export it to the European Union. So that's the difference between GSP and the GSP plus. So in the Sri Lanka's context, if we lose GSP plus at this point of time, it is estimated that we will lose about more than $1 billion of exports because of the price competitiveness that they are going to lose out by losing out GSP plus. So it's very important that we keep our GSP plus status at this point of time. So how do they evaluate? Basically, the European Union, they have a separate delegation. They check with the international organizations, civil society. They have conversations with the political authorities in that particular country and check how much they are committed to those 27 international conventions to move forward if they were to allow a continuation of GSP plus. If you recall, in 2010, we lost GSP plus because of the concerns about the human rights. And now again that concern has come because of the online safety bill, and there are many other concerns on the judiciary system and freedom of speech. And that's why if you are following our channel, especially our single channel on Advocata Plus, we raised the concerns on online safety bill many months ago when this was passed at the parliament on the concerns about freedom of expression. And now that and many other things have come to a concern, and there was a delegation in Sri Lanka to evaluate the GSP plus, and we will get to know about the status in few months' time. But it's very important that Sri Lanka keep the GSP plus, because with Trump tariff coming on the US front, we really cannot have any other shocks to our economy, because exports is our main driver of the economy, and it has to be the main driver. At the moment it is not, but we have to focus more and more on the exports. At the same time, we have to keep in mind there's a GSP scheme in the US as well, but that is suspended since 2020 for all the countries with Trump administration. But it's important that that GSP in the US is different to the GSP in the European Union. The US GSP scheme was open for about 3,200 tariff lines, but the European Union GSP and the GSP Plus is open for about 2/3 of the entire imports for the European Union. So it's very important for Sri Lankan apparels, rubber products and many other products to be keeping that eligibility of the GSP Plus scheme. But it's also important to remember, GSP and the GSP Plus scheme is for developing countries and lower income countries. When we graduate ourselves from lower income country to a middle income country, we will eventually anyway lose out GSP and GSP Plus. So that's why it's important that we have the proper institutional structure and we make our exports competitive by bringing technology and other resources, because eventually when we graduate ourselves for a developing country to a developed country, we will eventually lose out GSP and GSP Plus both. So it's very important when we are going towards the journey of the developed country, then we have to be competitive. And that's why institutes like Advocata Institute always reiterate the importance of governance as well as economic reforms, because economic reforms is the only way that we can make it sustainable. If you like this video, please click the like button. You can share and subscribe our channel. Always remember, we are also available under Advocata Plus in Sinhala, and in Tamil we are available under Advocata Kural. Also, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, pretty much on all social media platforms, and at the same time you can also subscribe us. Go to our website, go to the support tab and subscribe us, and we have a corporate subscription for 1.5 million, and there are many other subscription plans that you can use our resources and support the greater cause of building a prosperous, economically prosperous Sri Lanka. See you with another video.